Hey Lakers fans, welcome back. Today we're going to unpack some fascinating developments that could reshape the way the team approaches the upcoming draft and offseason moves. The Los Angeles Lakers have always been a team known for making bold moves, but right now, creativity is not just an option, it is a necessity. The current landscape of the NBA, with teams holding multiple draft picks and thinking strategically about the future, opens a window for the Lakers to maneuver in ways that could give them a serious advantage. One of the most intriguing possibilities revolves around the idea of turning a single draft pick into multiple opportunities, building depth while also targeting potential high-impact players who could elevate the roster. The Oklahoma City Thunder, for example, find themselves in a unique situation. They possess a treasure trove of picks, and while they're not a team that typically makes blockbuster trades just for the sake of it, the sheer volume of selections forces them to make decisions about how to consolidate or leverage these assets. Reports have suggested that the Thunder might consider trading some of their first-round picks either to move up in the draft or to acquire assets in future years, essentially giving themselves more flexibility and the ability to shape their team over the long term. This situation creates an opening for teams like the Lakers, who may not have the most desirable picks, but can offer value in exchange for multiple selections or other creative trade solutions. For the Lakers, this means thinking several moves ahead. The team has clear needs that must be addressed immediately, particularly at the third option level. A starting caliber player who can contribute consistently while complementing LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Yet, focusing solely on one high-profile acquisition is not enough. Depth is essential. The Lakers need role players who could defend, hit open shots, and maintain a high level of energy throughout the season. Players like Austin Reeves have shown promise, and adding complementary talent around him, while also preparing for the future, should be a priority. This is where the idea of turning one draft pick into multiple assets becomes so compelling. Imagine, for example, the Lakers negotiating with a team like the Thunder to acquire 3 or even 4 first-round picks in exchange for one less impactful selection. With these additional picks, Los Angeles could target multiple players who address different aspects of the roster. Maybe one pick secures a defensively skilled wing, another lands a promising guard with shooting range, and a third could be used to acquire a versatile forward capable of contributing immediately or being packaged in another trade for a high-end target. By doing so, the Lakers not only maximize their return on a single draft pick, but also create a structure that allows them to build a more well-rounded, resilient team that can compete at a high level both now and in the future. The strategy of asset accumulation is not new, but the timing and context make it particularly relevant for Los Angeles. Teams like the Thunder or the San Antonio Spurs, which consistently maintain a deep bench of draft picks, face the reality that they cannot realistically use all of their selections on impactful players. Roster space, developmental capacity, and the natural limitations of drafting mean that some picks will inevitably be underutilized unless they are creatively leveraged through trades. This is where the Lakers, with a clear understanding of their needs and the patience to craft multi-step deals, could step in. A trade that might initially seem small or conservative, like exchanging one future first-round pick for several less glamorous ones, could ultimately be the move that opens the door to securing 3 or 4 players who significantly improve the roster. The beauty of this approach is that it is highly adaptable. For example, targeting multiple second-tier talents could fill immediate gaps while keeping the option to aim for a high-end player through a separate trade or later draft maneuver. Think about players who bring 3-and-D capability, who can contribute without demanding a star-level role, but who collectively elevate the team's performance. By stacking multiple assets, the Lakers create flexibility. They can respond to opportunities as they arise, swap picks for players in trades, or even package them for a singular higher-tier talent if one becomes available. In short, this strategy transforms limitations into advantages, turning a lack of elite draft positioning into a tactical tool. Of course, none of this happens without smart negotiation and creativity. Lakers executives will need to engage in detailed discussions, consider every scenario, and anticipate other teams' priorities. The Thunder, while open to consolidating or swapping picks, are not giving away valuable selections lightly. Each pick, even if it seems minor, holds potential and is part of a larger long-term plan. The key for Los Angeles will be identifying opportunities where their needs align with another team's willingness to trade and crafting deals that produce tangible value. Whether it's pick swaps, multi-pick trades, or carefully selected target players, the Lakers' ability to innovate will be crucial. Another fascinating aspect is the timing. Certain trades may be more advantageous near the trade deadline, where teams must make decisions about expiring contracts, player movement, or underutilized assets. For example, a team losing a role player in free agency might prefer to accept a draft pick swap rather than risk getting nothing. For the Lakers, monitoring these timelines and acting strategically could yield multiple wins, allowing them to acquire several players who fit their timeline for contention while simultaneously preparing for the years ahead. It is also worth noting the importance of evaluating the value of these picks realistically. Not every pick is going to result in a superstar, and not every player selected will pan out as expected. However, by targeting players who fit specific roles and have upside, the Lakers can maximize the likelihood that each acquisition strengthens the team. The combination of short-term need fulfillment and long-term planning is what makes this strategy compelling. Each move is a calculated step toward maintaining championship contention while also building depth and flexibility that other teams might not be able to match. The discussion around asset management, draft strategy, and roster construction is dynamic and constantly evolving. Fans often focus on headline-grabbing trades or marquee signings, but the behind-the-scenes chess game of managing picks, evaluating talent, and negotiating deals can be just as critical, if not more so, in shaping a team capable of sustained success. The Lakers, with a mixture of championship experience, young talent, and a clear vision for the future, are in a position to take advantage of these complex scenarios. By thinking creatively, being willing to trade and consolidate picks, and targeting both immediate contributors and long-term assets, Los Angeles can position itself for success across multiple seasons. This approach also highlights a shift in the NBA landscape, where teams with abundant draft capital are forced to make strategic choices rather than simply amassing selections. The Thunder, Spurs, and similar franchises are constantly balancing the potential of each pick against roster needs, future flexibility, and competitive timing. For the Lakers, recognizing these dynamics and acting decisively could provide a competitive edge. In essence, transforming one draft pick into multiple opportunities is more than a clever idea. It is a roadmap for building a versatile, resilient, and competitive team. Now, let's take this conversation a step further because the intricacies of how the Lakers could leverage these draft strategies are fascinating and could reshape not just the upcoming season, but the trajectory of the team for years to come. When we talk about turning one pick into multiple assets, it's not just about acquiring players. It's about creating options, flexibility, and a pipeline of talent that allows the Lakers to stay competitive in a league where margins are razor thin. Teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder are sitting on so many first-round picks that they can afford to be selective about what they do with them. They don't need to rush into a trade or make a splashy deal because their roster already has the bones of a strong future, with young players ready to grow into stars. This is the kind of scenario that the Lakers can exploit if they think creatively and execute decisively. Consider the timing and mechanics of such trades. If Los Angeles is looking at multiple first-round picks spread across this year and the next few years, they can structure deals that provide both immediate and future returns. Imagine turning a single pick in the upcoming draft into 3 separate selections. One could be used to secure a solid role player who contributes right away. Another could be traded for a player with high upside in the following season. And the third could be a strategic swap to ensure flexibility in future drafts. This multi-layered approach not only addresses the Lakers' immediate needs, but also safeguards against the uncertainty that comes with drafting. The value here lies in options. The team isn't locked into a single path, but can pivot depending on how other trades and free agency moves unfold. The focus on depth cannot be overstated. The Lakers have experienced the challenges of relying too heavily on a small core of star players. Injuries, fatigue, and matchup issues have often exposed weaknesses, particularly when the bench cannot maintain performance levels. By acquiring multiple picks or assets through these trades, Los Angeles can bring in players who fit specific roles. Versatile wings, defensively capable forwards, sharpshooting guards, players who can seamlessly rotate into the lineup and maintain high energy. These are the kinds of roster moves that transform a team from good to elite, giving them the flexibility to adjust lineups, manage minutes, and maintain consistency over an entire season. Another important consideration is timing relative to other teams' decisions. The NBA calendar is filled with critical moments: the draft lottery, trade deadlines, free agency windows, and contract expirations. Teams like Brooklyn, for example, might be evaluating their own assets and deciding whether it makes sense to swap picks, trade role players, or consolidate their talent. The Lakers can exploit these situations by being prepared, understanding the motivations of other franchises, and offering solutions that meet mutual needs. A well-timed trade can create a ripple effect, turning what seems like a minor move into a significant strategic advantage. Pick swaps add another layer of strategic complexity. Many fans underestimate the value of these swaps, but they can be crucial in the right context. A pick swap allows a team to benefit if another franchise's pick ends up being higher than their own, essentially giving the Lakers leverage without immediately sacrificing a valuable asset. While some swaps may seem minor in the short term, they can provide tangible benefits when the season unfolds and draft positions become clear. The Lakers' ability to understand and maximize these opportunities could be the difference between acquiring a reliable starter and missing out on a player who fits perfectly within their long-term plan. We also need to consider player development alongside draft strategy. Not every acquired pick needs to translate immediately into an all-star. Sometimes the value is in potential. A player who may not be ready to contribute at a high level this season could, with proper development and coaching, become a cornerstone of the Lakers' future. By stacking multiple assets through trades, the team increases its chances of landing several players with potential, some of whom may exceed expectations and provide the kind of high-impact performance that makes a championship-caliber roster. Depth and development go hand in hand, creating a pipeline that balances present needs with future success. The conversation around role players is just as important. In today's NBA, having players who can defend multiple positions, hit open shots, and maintain floor spacing is invaluable. A single high-profile star cannot carry a team alone. Championships are often won by those who have balanced, versatile rosters that can respond to the fast pace and strategic complexity of modern basketball. By targeting multiple second-tier or role players through trades and draft picks, the Lakers create a more robust and adaptive lineup. It's about constructing a roster where each player has a defined role, contributes consistently, and elevates the team's overall performance. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, the basketball world is buzzing with speculation after a recent statement that could shake up the NBA landscape. Kevin Durant, one of the league's most prolific scorers and arguably one of the most versatile forwards in the modern game, reportedly issued a shocking ultimatum that has left fans and analysts scrambling to interpret its implications. According to insiders, Durant suggested that he would consider a move to a new team if, and only if, a certain superstar departs from the Los Angeles Lakers. The comment, which has already gone viral across social media platforms, has sent immediate waves of rumor and conjecture through the basketball community. Durant, who has never shied away from high-stakes decisions and headline-grabbing announcements, seems to be signaling that a potential reunion with some of the NBA's top-tier talent could be on the horizon, provided circumstances align perfectly. For years, Durant has been seen as a player who balances his career ambitions with a careful eye toward championship contention. The mere suggestion that he would entertain leaving his current situation indicates both a strategic move in the market and an unprecedented level of transparency from a superstar often careful with his public statements. If the Lakers roster experiences the rumored shakeup, Durant's statement could be the first clear signal of a domino effect that might redefine the league's balance of power. Speculation is already rife regarding which Lakers star could be at the center of this scenario. Analysts are debating whether the move would be a calculated risk or a natural step toward assembling a championship-caliber roster that could dominate the coming seasons. Fans have flooded forums and sports shows with theories, dissecting every nuance of Durant's statement, trying to predict which front office would be bold enough to make an offer capable of enticing the former MVP. While nothing is confirmed, the timing of Durant's remark feels deliberate, almost like a strategic trial balloon to gauge reaction across the NBA and among fans. A move like this could trigger an unprecedented chain of trades, signings, and rumors that would dominate headlines for months. One thing is certain: wherever Kevin Durant lands next, the league's landscape could be irrevocably altered. For now, all eyes are on Los Angeles, where the slightest shift in personnel could spark one of the most dramatic stories in recent NBA memory. Durant's ultimatum may be subtle in its wording, but the implications are monumental. A single departure could open the door to a seismic career decision, and the basketball world is holding its collective breath. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.